Ever hear that women face a ton of bias trying to get hired as professors in science and engineering? That the system is stacked against them? Well, a huge national study came out a few years back and flipped that idea on its head. It's bombshell finding. When it comes to hiring for top-tier professor jobs, faculty actually prefer women 2-to-1. But this study caused a massive fight. Supporters said it proved things have changed. Critics said it was deeply flawed. So, what did it really find, and can we trust it? Let's break it down. Back in 2015, two researchers from Cornell, Wendy Williams and Stephen Sesai, wanted to test the reality of hiring bias. They didn't look at old data or stories. They ran a giant experiment. They contacted nearly 900 real professors from all 50 states, men and women in biology, engineering, psychology, and economics. They gave these professors fake job candidate profiles. The candidates were all described as superstars. Top grades, great research, the whole package. The only thing that changed was the candidate's name and pronouns, Karen or Brian. The professors were asked, who would you hire? This was the core of experiment. And the results were shocking. Look at this graph. The taller the bar, the more often that candidate was picked as the number one choice. See the pattern? Whether the professor voting was a man or a woman, in almost every field, the female candidate was chosen way more often. In biology, female candidates were picked about 75% of the time. In engineering, a field known for being male-dominated, the preference for women was the strongest. The male candidates were only the top choice 20–30% of the time. Across the board, when everything else was equal, faculty preferred the woman. The overall ratio was 2-to-1. The researchers ran 4 more variations of this test, using full resumes, different life scenarios, and the trend held up. In a direct head-to-head match between identical male and female stars, the woman was chosen 2 out of 3 times. The author's conclusion was bold. For these high-level STEM professor jobs, hiring bias against women is not the big problem people think it is. They suggested the reason we see fewer women in these jobs might have more to do with life choices or issues earlier in the career pipeline, not universities refusing to hire them. But as you can imagine, this set off a firestorm of criticism. Critics slammed the study on a few key points. Number 1. It was just a survey. Professors were clicking options in an email. This isn't a real hiring committee with millions of dollars and reputations on the line. In a real search, there are interviews, reference checks, and long debates where unconscious biases can sneak back in. A quick click might reflect what people think is the right answer, not what they'd actually do. Number 2. The right answer was obvious. The profiles were short and the gender was clear. Critics argue this triggered social desirability bias. People chose the woman because they knew what the unbiased choice should be. They wanted to look fair, especially in a low-stakes experiment. Number 3. It missed the big picture. Even if this one moment in hiring favors women, it doesn't erase other huge problems. The pay gap, the motherhood penalty, the fact that women are often pushed out after they're hired. And it doesn't account for race or class at all. The study looked at a single, narrow point in a very long and difficult career path. So, where does this leave us? This study is a powerful piece of evidence that attitudes have shifted. There's a strong, conscious desire in academia to hire and support women in STEM, especially for these elite jobs. The old, overt men-only bias seems to be gone, at least in this specific scenario. But it's not proof that sexism is over. Think of it like this. You can have a front door that's wide open, hiring, but a hallway inside filled with obstacles, promotion, pay, bias in labs, unequal service burdens. This study only looked at the front door. The debate this study sparked is actually the most important part. It forces us to ask harder questions. If hiring is fairer now, why don't the numbers fully reflect that? Where in the career journey are women still getting pushed out? The conversation moved from they won't hire us to what happens after they do. The 2-to-1 finding is real within the limits of the experiment. It shows progress. But it's a snapshot, not the whole movie. The struggle for true equality in science isn't just about getting the job offer. It's about having a fair shot at every single step that comes after. What do you think? Does this experiment reflect reality, or is it too simplistic? Let's talk in the comments.